Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another edition of our weekly real estate backstory. We do this every week, trying to kind of start you off on a great way to get your week going, talking about the comings and goings, the things happening in the Atlanta real estate market. My name is Alan Richardson. I'm the managing broker here at Maximum Realtor Partners.
And my name is Ming Richardson, the compliance broker for Maximum One Realty and Realtor Partners.
And so we want to kind of just start about talking about like your business. And so I came across this thing this past week talking about like what is your business based on? And there's four business laws that we really think that you ought to think about building and establishing and kind of the foundation for your business to be built on. And so the very first one of those is Kidlin's Law. And that says basically if you write a problem down
clearly,
yeah, then I mean, and actually take a moment. If you got a problem, write the problem down, and immediately half that problem is solved right there. That's one of the biggest things is a lot of times we have so many things going on in our life, and we just won't sit down and organize our opportunities as well as our challenges right there.
Absolutely. And sometimes we get so many backdrop and backstories that we can't see what is actually the problem. So once again, ask the clarify the problem, and I think half of your problem is solved.
Yep. Now the next one is what's called Gilbert's Law, and that says that the biggest problem with any job is that no one tells you what to do. And this is so much more important in our industry because you're all independent contractors. You are your own boss. And so there's no one to tell you what to do. Yes, you can listen to the talking heads and your brokers and that kind of stuff. But, the fact that no one's telling you what to do means that a lot of times, realtors just kind of get wrapped up in paralysis. They have a hard time really moving forward.
And this is why we highly encourage business planning, because when you have a goal, guess what? You know where your jobs are. So you're going to follow that goal to your success.
Yeah. Now, the third law that we would encourage you to base your business on, and that's on Wilson's Law. And basically what Wilson's Law says is if you prioritize knowledge and intelligence, money flows to you. And we really think that that's the right way to be. You don't want to be a realtor that when you talk, you can hear commission breath on them kind of thing. And when you're a really knowledgeable, really smart, well-educated real estate professional, the money really does flow to you.
Absolutely.
Now, the last law that we want to kind of throw out there is Falkland's Law. And so, and Falkland's Law is one of those that I love, because what Falkland's Law says is when there's no need to make a decision, don't. A lot of times we stress about, I got to make a decision. I got to do this. And what Falkland's Law says is
if there's no need, why stress about making that decision? So go with it. And there may be other things that may need your attention that, it's time with what we're spending. Sorry.
Yeah. If you don't have to decide, don't, basically. Right. And so that's the great part. We want to also, like in addition to that, one thing that we've been talking with all of our folks about here lately a lot is like, what is your niche market? Who like what are you trying to do? Who are you trying to engage with?
Who's your segment of clients? Because it's not just, and everybody say I take everybody. Well, the problem with that is some of the niche are very specialized. And if you don't understand the lingo or how they behave or what is it that they're thinking of, you can't communicate with them effectively.
Well, the other side of things, though, is that too often our messages get watered down. We try and be everything to everybody. I work with buyers, I work with sellers, I work with investors, wholesalers, move up sellers, first time buyers. I mean, like the list just goes on. And it's really hard to be known for anything when you're not known for anything in particular. If all you are is just this generic, broad-based realtor, that's a really hard way to be known. And when you have a niche, it's not that you aren't going to operate in any other arena.
Arena.
Yeah, but it's the fact that you can go and be the knowledge broker in a particular niche. That you are the go-to person in a neighborhood. You are the person that folks look for when it comes to if you're first time buyers or to selling. And the reason that this is so important is because we see it a lot in what you guys are posting into social media and those kind of things. A lot of you guys will just throw a bunch of stuff on the wall and see what sticks, as opposed to having like a brand message that, like if you're trying to appeal to first time, if you want to work with first time buyers, and that's your niche market, then you are going to focus on, gosh, what are the concerns of my first time buyers? Where do they want to buy homes? How much money do they make? What are their concerns?
Affordability, school district, whether or not they're want have pets. I mean, these are legitimate concerns.
Right. But then when you speak to that on social media, now these folks are going to naturally be attracted to you. Doesn't mean that they're not going to call you when it comes time for selling, or not that they're not going to find you for other real estate aspects. This is your opportunity to be known, liked, and trusted. And so don't try and be so generic, so everything to everybody, that you really miss out on the opportunity to build something that really is you. Not only that, it's great when we can operate in a niche that we're really, really comfortable, really competent. That's super powerful.
And we're not
right
saying just because you are in a niche for a first-time home buyer that you wouldn't have spheres of influence that may be investors or luxury or auction or what have you. Those are all available to you, but be good in what you do and know your market. So you're not chasing your tail all the time, trying to say, well, this didn't work for 2 minutes, so I'm going to go do this one now for another 2 minutes. Real estate doesn't work like that. Real estate is a long-term relationship investment. And if you don't make that investment, most likely you're going to be chasing your tail a lot of time.
Yeah, we just want to help you that if you're whatever your particular niche is, that's the kind of content you should make videos for. That's the kind of content that you should post on social media. Those are the type of properties that you should be sharing out. This is the kind of information that you need to talk about the concerns are for, as opposed to just a piece of this and a piece of this and a piece of this that's just so broad based that no one really feels super attached to you. Because the other thing that and where we want to kind of go next is that a lot of times when we do this marketing, when we do reach out and engage, a lot of times we leave it flat. We don't wrap up with a call to action. And what a call to action, that's just one of those things where if you're talking to somebody and then all of a sudden they just kind of like, okay, bye. Like there's no call to action. There's nothing. It just ends flat.
There's no motivation for them to reach out back to you again. Yeah. So you want to give them something where they say, oh, I need to call Alan for this, because in our last conversation we end up with a call to action.
Well, and like let's say that you are sharing out. Let's say that those first time buyers really are your target market, and that you share some listings. Well, at the end of those listings, you need to say, find your dream home today. Contact me to see these properties. Are you interested in this property? Schedule a viewing with me now. Did you find a home you love? Let's save this to your favorites and then let's set an appointment to go see that home. Or, like, hey, you can't find the property you're looking for? Let me set you up a custom search so that we can make sure that the properties that are coming to you are exactly what you want to get. Are you interested in getting some virtual tours? I can schedule some virtual tours for you. Click here to see what this home looks like, that kind of stuff. And it's not just for sellers,
Well, and
with
also,
the buyers,
I mean, that wasn't just for the buyer. For sellers, you can do the same thing. You can say, let me offer you a free home evaluation. Let me help you, sell this thing fast, basically, or staging. Yeah. How can I streamline your property? List with us. All these good tidbits that you can address when you're addressing your niche of clients.
Don't just leave it floating out there. Like just don't end, especially on all your social media posts, those kind of things. You can do this whether it's for investors or just in general.
And if
got
you,
questions, call
yeah,
me.
if you're working with an investor, you need to talk about the investment opportunity. What
Yeah.
is return on investment? And the calculator. What is your market trend? Because these are information investors are looking for. You see how that is different from a first-time home buyer? They're looking at from a different lenses. So if you are going to have your niche in the investor, please understand the lingo before you explore it, because it may put you in a disadvantage when you can't even communicate with them properly.
Yeah. And on all of them, you want to be sharing market updates all the time because we're seeing, and we'll share in a minute, like what's happening with interest rates, what's going on with the market. You want to share that kind of information, but then wrap up with a call to action. Everything should have a call to action. And we're missing this as an industry a long time. I mean, to a great deal. We just keep missing out on this great
Absolutely.
call to action, right? So like contact me, reach out to me, engage with me. I love you, that kind of thing. So, all right, there's a new study by Fixer out that came out, and they listed the top features that sell homes quicker. And so they went through and analyzed all the Zillow data for the past year and basically said, which of the different home features ended up in a faster sale. And so for that, and it's actually different than a lot of times what the buyers say and that kind of stuff. So number one came in
vanity lighting.
I know. Tile floors was number two. Open shelving.
Shelves.
I think open shelving looks great on a picture, but open shelving in real life is a giant pain because it's always messy, right?
You can't have, it's a display shelving.
Yeah.
So, and plus it collect dust. So if you're wanting something that for display, is a great system. But if you're not wanting something that for display, open shelving can be a deterrent.
Yeah. Open brick walls, modern lighting, artificial grass. We actually saw a house with artificial grass after the entire front lawn AstroTurf. I'm not sure that's going to sell a house faster in Georgia. Maybe that's a different market, but I don't know about that.
It was funny because we drove through it and we thought, oh, what a nice grass.
Well, what a pretty grass. And I got, that's not grass.
That's true.
Yeah. So,
that was just today, which is kind of funny. Yeah. So anyway, chandelier lighting is the other.
Mm-hmm. Sheds and pergolas are really good. Subway tile. Subway tile is still timeless. It does a really, really good job. Butcher block countertops are hot in there. Built-in shelving, mainly in our closets and pantries, that kind of stuff. But,
the California closet are very popular.
Yeah, so. Exactly. And then barn doors still made the list, right? We're still big on barn doors. So, all right. So the numbers for inflation came in, and they came in slower, which is a good thing to see. Okay. Inflation came in at 3.3%. And the reason that's important is because inflation really does drive our interest rates. And so we're seeing where inflation is not where the Fed wants it to be. The Fed actually met this past week, and they didn't lower rates. They didn't raise rates either. But we are seeing where, we were looking like we were heading back down to the 2% mark, which is where they want us. And we're at 3.3. We've kind of done this little wobble thing for a few months, but things are looking better, right? We're seeing where inflation is dropping and that kind of stuff. Now, the good news is we're seeing interest rates also coming down. Interest rates are back under sevens. And so not only are interest rates back under sevens and into the high sixes, overall mortgage application is up 16% just this week. And overall, we're 26% higher this year than we were last year.
Correct.
So this is a really good time. I know that, it's very easy to get pessimistic about the market, what's going on and interest rates and that kind of stuff. The buyers are still interested. I mean, a 16% jump and 25% up over last year. Now's the time to really continue to engage with your buyers out there because they're staying really, really close attention to this.
Absolutely.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, the VA came out and said that they are going to allow a variance for buyer broker compensation paid for by vets. this past week on the 11th, they actually came out and made it official. In the past, it was just a
Yay.
VA official. So they came out and basically said the same thing. Now, if you read it, it says like temporary local variance for certain buyer broker charges. That just says that, if in certain areas kind of thing, if they need to do it, you can do it. So
Right.
it really is a good thing. Now, I also don't believe a lot of our vets want to pay, but now they can, right? The other thing that happened in mortgages this week is so HUD also announced a program that is where they are heavily investing in manufactured home communities. And if you've tried to sell mobile homes and mobile home communities in the past, one of the biggest hurdles that we've had is financing. And
Correct.
so HUD is really tried to push this new initiative. In a way, it's one of those things where I'm actually really pleased about, because what we see is our buyers are being a lot more open-minded to
Well,
what are houses today,
well,
and to what does
honestly,
today's house look like.
honestly, mobile home is not what the type of mobile home we grew up
This
in.
is not grandma's mobile home with a redwood deck,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
no. So the new mobile home looks great and feels great. Half of the room. So it's feel like a home set. It's not solid, whereas a foundation is.
Yeah, but
It does have foundation, but it's not as solid. It's always a crawl or
yeah, but I mean, the fact is that when it comes to manufactured home, a lot of us in the real estate community kind of put a nose up, kind of snub it, look like, ew, mobile home.
But this is about
Kinda-
affordability at this time.
Exactly, and that's the big deal, is that our clients are not the ones, like it's not up to us to decide what housing looks like,
Right.
right? Whether it's a manufactured home, a condo, a townhome, a single family home. Some of our newer construction neighborhoods right now are some of them are getting pretty close. But that's what our buyers can afford to buy, and that's what our buyers want. We need to be very supportive of
So
that.
HUD came up with a program where affordability is obtainable.
Yeah, and so we're just glad to see that that's one more thing. Just make sure that you're staying open-minded about that. Now, right now, nationwide, about 42% of pending sales are under contract in 2 weeks, which is really good to see, that about 40% of our listings go under contract in 2 weeks. Those are the properties that are priced right, in good areas, in good condition. They're moving quickly.
Or highly discounted because it's got deferred maintenance,
Yeah.
where investors feel like that they are worthwhile.
Yeah. Now, at the same time, we also have a much higher percentage of listings that are having a price drop. And so what we have is we have this big, two ends of the spectrum going on when it comes to pricing. We have a lot of homes, 40-something% of properties are selling going under contract within 2 weeks. And then we have more and more homes that are sitting there and having to take a price reduction.
Yep.
And overall average home sold price, we've been running at 100% for the last ever since post-COVID, we've been over 100%. Nationwide, we're now down to in the 99%. Here in the Atlanta metro area, okay, just trying to share this with you. Right now, we're still seeing our property values are up about 5.7%. So we're still seeing positive appreciation. However, 30% of our properties currently have price drops. And that's up about 10% over last year. At the same time, 40% of our properties are under contract within 2 weeks.
So if it's moving ready and it's ready to go, and price right, guess what? You got a contract immediately.
And in the Atlanta area, average sale to list price is at 98.8. We're actually under the 99%. So we're seeing a lot more offers being accepted under asking price right now than we have. And so what we're seeing right now is we're seeing a rise in stale inventory. Stale inventory is up about 2% overall. And these are properties that sit on the market for at least 30 days without going under contract. And so we're seeing where that number is rising pretty rapidly right now. I mean, we're seeing this real time play out at the brokerage level. It's a really big deal. Right now, 2 in 5 listings are sitting on the market for 60 days or more.
Yep.
And so first thing, please make sure that you are using your comparative market analysis to be able to show your sellers what a buyer is willing to pay for their home in this market right now. The value of your seller's home is not based on what they paid for it. It's not based on what kind of upgrades that they've done. It's not based on tax record. It's based on comparison. I can buy this house down the street, very similar to yours, for this price, or this other one over here in the cul-de-sac, or this one over here for this amount. That's the most that homes in this area are going to sell for. No one's going to pay you an extra $40,000 because you want them to.
It's about the affordability. Yeah. So if they can't afford it, guess what? They're not going to buy it.
Yeah, right now in the Atlanta area, 61% of owned sold listings are sitting on the market over 30 days. We're seeing where good properties are coming on the market and selling quickly. At the same time, we have this inventory that's sitting there getting old. And what happens when the inventory sits there and gets old? Everyone says, well, what's wrong with that house? Something's wrong with there, kind of thing.
But a lot of it, listing agent, if you have a consultation with your client, just make sure you give them certain expectation. Not only that, if they want to list high, they have the right to do that. But understand, it may be in the market for a little bit because the buyer does not think the property is worth it.
Well, and really what you see is that when they list that property too high, yes, it's going to sit on the market, but now you're having to take more and more drastic price reductions. And not only are you having to take drastic price reductions, now you're having to give in on a lot more of those other concessions. Now maybe you're buying down points. Maybe you're going to make these repairs. Maybe you're going to do this, as opposed to if you had just come out and listed the property at the right price from the very beginning, it would really, really have benefited the seller.
Not only that, and hopefully that you'll have multiple offers as well. So it's a easy, smooth transaction.
But use the data. Use your comparative market analysis, an equity assessment to show the sellers. Don't just get in there and be like, well, this is what I think. Let the numbers do the talking for you.
Absolutely.
All right. So, goodness, let's try and go back here. Overall, even though all that's kind of going on, we're still seeing positive value appreciation. Overall, so far right now, we're running 5.7% property value appreciation this year over last. Goldman Sachs and Moody's just put out their forecast, and Goldman Sachs is a little bit more aggressive than I think that really we are. Moody's is looking at being much more relative to what we think, in somewhere in that 3 to 5% property value appreciation.
And honestly, this all tied into interest rates. So if the interest rates maintain the current value it is, Moody's probably going to be right.
I think so
but
too.
But if the interest rate goes down below 6.5, I think Goldman Sachs will be on the target.
Well, it just kind of depends. If we see interest rates drop a lot, which I think that right now we are seeing them moderate, we're really glad to see that. But at the same time, we just got in the new data points talking about what is the average equity gain per borrower by state. And here in Georgia, last year, just the average, you took all the property owners and all the property appreciation, the average property owner in Georgia made $22,000 in equity gain last year. When people say, maybe I'm going to rent a little bit longer. Maybe I'm going to.
Well, not only you're giving away on the average $24,000 a year, because that's averaging $2,000 per month. You're also giving away $22,000 equity that you would have gained. So,
well, I mean, not only that, but look at like you're paying off that mortgage every month, and so you're growing $20,000 a year in equity. You're also paying off that mortgage at the same time. So at the end of it, you're going to have a zero mortgage, and you're going to keep having all this equity that you're continuing to grow. This is why, yes, it may be cheaper in the short term to rent. In the long term, it is not. In the long term, like what's the interest rate on a rental?
100%.
Yeah, exactly. So. All right, this week we got a lot of education going on. So on Tuesday, I'm going to be teaching effective negotiating. That's going to be in our airport office. On Wednesday, the Marvelous Martin is going to be going over Code of Ethics. That's going to be in our Conyers office. I'm teaching again Thursday, so you're going to be sick of me. I'm going to be in our Carrollton office teaching fast top dollar home sales with staging. And then on Friday, we're going to be going over the GAR, basically Contracts 101 with GAR mid-year changes. And so there are There aren't a lot of GAR mid-year changes, but the ones that are there are significant. And
They're
so we need to be ready for
significant
that.
because if you check the wrong box, guess what?
Yep.
You are maybe doing your services for free.
Yep.
So we just want to make sure you guys understand, you know, in the past, actually, I had an agent told me the other day, she said, in the past, I feel like I'm just filling the blank. Now, guess what? I'm actually have to read what those
What?
blanks are.
You got to read a contract?
Yeah,
That's crazy talk.
Crazy talk. So,
Yeah.
anyways, thank y'all for watching us and our call to action. Please contact us for any questions that you may have and give us a
call, text, smoke signals. We answer it all. Love y'all.
Thank
Bye.
you. And if you like our program, please share it with other folks that you love. Thank you. Have a great Monday.
Bye, guys.